What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 106 of Cali Brick Click. And remember, you can find this episode on previous episodes anywhere you find your podcast, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, wherever. And like always, we have Claire, the Plastic Architect.
Hi, how are you?
We have Ninja.
Yeah.
And back the second time, first guest of the year, Mel, Iceberg Bricks. How's it going, bro?
It's good. It's going good, man. Going good. I can't complain, man. Another good year, man.
It's a brand new one now.
Yeah. Looking for another good year.
I think 2022
23.
ended pretty well. What about you guys?
I think so, yeah. No
That was
complaints
really
over
good.
here.
No, for sure. Last time we spoke, which was really only a couple days ago, because we had like our 2-year anniversary, which was cool. Got a lot of DM messages on the side. I appreciate everyone who reached out. Claire almost made it to the end, but she hung on true. She had some connectivity issues, but at least she didn't miss it, Ninja. I'm gonna keep holding you to that, bro, for like
Hey, like I
forever.
said, I was there. I was just ninja mode. You really couldn't see me.
But since then, January 1st did just happen. Did anyone get anything cool?
Like physically in my hand, not yet.
Nothing.
Like you mean Lego, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Lego wise. I mean, if you want to say something else, you can. But Lego wise, no. Did you? You said you weren't. Really
no, we got a
looking-
lot.
Okay, so did you end up going anywhere to any of the stores, or did you just shop online?
No, we went in store, which was fun. It had been a while since I'd gone in store, so we got the new Avatar sets, so that was fun.
Oh, okay. Did you watch the movie yet, or no?
Mhm.
Is it worth buying the sets after I watched the movie? Like, am I going to be like,
Just-
oh yeah, for sure, this is cool?
Did you like the first movie?
I love the first one.
Yeah, just get the sets. You're gonna love it.
Just get
Like,
the
it's-
I mean, according to
Skip the
Brent,
movie. Skip the movie. Get the set. Skip the movie.
Skip
there
the
you go.
movie.
no,
You got to read between the lines. Skip the movie. Get the set.
no, I like the movie a lot. Like,
Okay,
I
cool.
would probably go see it again.
Oh,
according
okay,
to
that's very
Brent,
telling.
from Brent's Bricks, he says the whale is a lot better once you see the movie.
Yeah, he was saying that. I knew Claire was
Allegedly.
was a fan of Avatar. I mean, I am a fan of the movie. I love the land. Thanks, Claire. So you got all the Avatar sets. Did you get anything else?
Lord of the Rings brickheads, because we're excited for that, even though they look bad, but whatever.
Yeah,
They're
we gotta.
brickheads,
We
they
need.
always
We need to
look bad.
support that. We need to support that. We need them to.
Yeah, that was fun.
I mean, they're brickheads. You can't expect much.
I
Yeah, that's
know.
exactly it. I think like brickheads always look bad, but they're fun.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Lego wise, I think we got some other stuff. I can't remember what though. I'm looking around, but I can't. I don't know.
So I did an online order and I went in store. So the online order, I got a bunch of things just to get the threshold. I wanted to ensure that I got like, the Paul Walker Skyline. I just wanted to make sure I had that. I knew
Yes.
that was going to be like a quick sellout the next day. So I still went in for the hype. And, I saw when I got home and I started looking on like, Instagram stories and stuff like that. You see a lot of people at the Lego store, but then you see a lot of other people like hating on people that go to the Lego store on January 1st. Mel, are you one of them?
Oh, man, let me see. Usually, well, before my new endeavor with land, because I got accepted, it's weird because like
nice.
this is probably the
For sure.
first. This is probably the first year that I went into the store and didn't buy anything because I already had it, bro. So. So it felt kind of weird. So like you said, you go for the ambiance. You just in there. Yeah, I'm in there. Just looking around, messing around, just to get that feel, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm one of those first day people gotta have it in my hands, gotta have it now.
Yeah, so you just mentioned it right now. So there's just something. I mean, I wanted to counter all these people that were talking trash, but like, really, it's just like you're going with like-minded folk who are also hyped out about the hobby as in general, the sets that are coming out. There's just always something cool because we talk to each other all the time how much we like Lego, but we do that for days. But when you find someone new that you don't know, and you talk about Lego or however whatever theme that goes with it, it's just something really cool about that.
Mhm.
And one thing that was interesting with this one is that for my stores, the Skyline sold out quick. It was like the Skyline, it sold out faster than the Jazz Club, and then the what's the art set that came out?
Oh, the
The
wave.
wave.
The wave sold out quicker than the Skyline. That sold
It
out.
looks so good.
Yeah,
I'm
that
excited for that
surprisingly,
one.
I didn't know that was going to be a hot take, but that
Mhm.
was like a real grab. So the two dudes behind us were like, or like behind them, were all into the Skyline, and like that's all they bought were the Skyline. They knew nothing about Lego. They just wanted that set. I had a lot of friends that were messaging me about it, and then the Lego store employees said that like the Skyline is going to sell quick because a lot of people were calling about that one set, which is very telling, and hopefully Lego takes notice about Fast and the Furious
That's right.
cars. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
We
Yeah,
gotta
I
keep
mean,
supporting.
you had a lot of like non-Lego people looking for that set, man, and they
Mhm.
just wanted like something that resembled a car. I mean, granted, they Ben came out with the diecast car long ago, so you actually could get that, but for whatever reason, non-Lego people were flocking just to get that one set.
I think it's like so the Skyline, right? It's a very nostalgia piece for a lot of people, like who were around during that time frame during the late '90s, early 2000s. Like the show, like the Toys That Made Us, right?
Mhm.
There's just something
Yeah.
about Lego, and then adding to something else that you also love. So like
Exactly,
you're
the
bringing in two
combination.
different things that just makes it really, really cool. Like Nintendo, I mean, not like this Nintendo line, but like the NES and like maybe Bowser or any other thing like that. I think
Or Sesame Street.
Sesame Street, like all
yeah,
that
I mean,
stuff.
Winnie the
that's why
Pooh, all your-
Funko does so good.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna see a lot more of that. I mean, we started to see it before. We're starting to see it in ideas. I can't wait till that Taylor Swift set gets approved because for sure that's day one for me because I'm a T Swift fan.
No shame.
But like it was fun. Like I had a blast, even though I was just chilling with Sean for the most of it. He was having a blast vlogging. Shout out to Sean the Right Way from ACOB. Like I really, really pushed him to make a video, and he finally made one. So I'm happy that he finally did that.
And
but-
also to touch on the end of that video, you guys went in store, so you got your stuff in hand, whereas I'm waiting for the mail to deliver my stuff. It's not that cool.
and that's the other thing. Like I could have slept in, but it's just the hype. There's so many things you could sleep in for, but like this was worth it to me. So I know
Yeah,
I like
it
most
was
fans,
fun.
it's worth it.
It was definitely fun going in for sure.
Yeah.
But
Nice
I got
and
the
nice.
Jazz Modular, and Claire, I'm starting to like it. As
Yeah,
I'm building
I told
it.
you like it.
I
Did you already start building it?
Yeah, I have one level left at the top level left.
Oh, we in this. Oh, you at the top level. Oh, you killing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm trying to push it. I'm doing something with it tomorrow, so I need to get it done like ASAP.
Okay.
So, but yeah, surprisingly, I went into it not really excited about it, and it doesn't really excite me right now. But maybe it's just the modular in general because I love modular so much that I enjoy the process of it. But as I'm putting it together, when I finish the level, that's that level of satisfaction when you when you get to a certain point with a Lego set. A lot of like Star Wars sets or any other theme sets, like you probably don't get that until like the very end. Like you don't get satisfaction of building a set like that until like you're done. But like on a modular set, when you finish a level, it's like, this is cool. And you still have you have more bags and like, okay, I can go. And then when you're done with it, it's like, okay, this is cool. So I don't know, like it's growing on me, Claire. So yeah, you're right. So Mel, what'd you get?
Oh man,
I know you gotta pick up something. I know you got a lot of things for free, but you gotta pick up something.
Yeah, I did buy the modular. I didn't get the modular for free, but I did get the modular because it was the same way. I was like, and here's the thing, I didn't get it on the first day. Like I passed it up by 50 minutes. So the store opened at 11. I get there by 11:50 and it sold out.
Ooh,
So
man.
it was like, oh man. So then I had to wait till like Tuesday when they re-up to go actually get it. And so, but I feel the same way, and I think that's the popular opinion. Not people that bought the modular really wasn't a big fan of the Jazz Club. They was like, oh, I'll get it and try it. But then once, like you said, once you start building it, it grows on you. It's like, oh man, this is pretty cool. The techniques are awesome. I just like that every modular never used the same techniques, whether it's the stairs, the windows, or whatever. You're learning a different type of building style.
So I'm already starting to see a lot of people like mod their jazz clubs. So that's one of the cool things about it. And it's that one time of the year that this thing comes out. So the hype for it's only for the next couple months, and I just want to be on that train. That's all. I mean, I have all of them, so like I can't. I'm also really excited to change this up because it's been stale, stagnant for a long time. And
Oh, nice! Are you gonna do a city update or something?
Oh, I did one. Did you watch it?
No,
Rude.
I don't watch Lego content anymore. I know it's the worst. Also,
think
I haven't
I
had it.
mentioned you explicitly in that video. Rude.
No, maybe I watched it. I usually watch, but
I think I
like
mentioned you in like all 3 of my latest videos.
You mentioned me in a really, you were like, Claire says blah 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 in like
That's
a really
significant.
condescending way, and I was like, oh dear. I was like, what have I done? What's my reputation?
What? So okay. So I like to like shout out everybody as much as possible when I can. So yeah, you're in the last 3 of my videos.
No,
Um,
I think I've been watching. No, honestly, like we've had just lots of life changes and crazy stuff happened. And right now I don't have internet. So if I cut out, it's because I'm on a personal hotspot and it just sometimes fails. And so that's where we're at right now.
there's a storm right
at the
here.
moment.
So if
Mhm.
I cut out,
I heard it's like more heavy up north right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a level 3, like up in SF.
Oof.
Man,
Yeah, we need that. We need that in that Northern California because that feeds us all in water.
it's like,
So
I don't think so.
Kind of. There's level 3. There's like a good storm, and then there's like dangerous conditions.
yeah, that's true. Good point. Either or, we need the drinking water because we've been hurting for it. So hopefully everyone's okay in Northern Cali. If you're out there, be safe. Please don't like be running around during the day while it's storming out. But we have Mel back again.
Yeah.
And some things like happened since he was last here. Now, he did mention a little bit, but he couldn't at the time. But he did just come back onto Lego Masters for like a hot sec. Me personally didn't watch any of it because I got pissed at the episode where the winners of the show didn't get kicked out the first time. So I think that was my like, I'm not watching this anymore. I was really upset. And then I'm like, I already know who won. based on this. So anyways, I don't want to get into a hot rant about that. So Mel, take it away. Like what was the whole Christmas thing about?
Oh man, for me, I think the whole Christmas, and man, like that title's so long. They need to do better than that. Like that. I mean, it's just it's called the Lego Masters Celebrity Holiday Bricktacular, right?
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, rolls right off the tongue. So it's basically the Lego Masters Brickmas like from Australia, where they match up a contestant with a celebrity, and it's over like I think Australia does it for 2 episodes. Over here we got to do everything bigger, so we give them 4 episodes over 3 days.
It's a series?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Is that why they added 4 extra words also? Because Brickmas sounded fine.
Yep, yeah. I mean, Brickmas sound fine, but I guess you try to be a little bit different from Australia, So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So it was like 4 episodes over 3 days.
So this is the first time this has happened, right? I don't recall the previous seasons
First,
happening.
man, it's the first.
And it was you, Boone. Who else was there?
Smee Boone, Natalie from season 2,
There we go,
and
Natalie.
Dominic from season 3. The team
Okay.
that came in halfway in, and then they bounced out a couple episodes later.
So what was that like? Like who were you guys teamed up with? Like who are the celebrities?
So Boone, being a natural singer, they teamed him up with Robin Thicke so they could sing, right? And so they teamed up Natalie with Finesse Mitchell, who was off of SNL, and he's like a stand-up comedian.
Mm-hmm.
They teamed up Dominic with Cheryl Hines from Curb Your Enthusiasm, and they teamed me up with Leslie Jordan. Rest in peace, Leslie Jordan.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You live under a rock, bro? Like
I literally
bro. Like what in the world?
After that episode, I literally was just like, I'm done. I'm done. And we know what the holidays, man. And like, I knew I was going to end up watching it eventually. I mean, I was planning to watch before you came on today, but like, life.
Yeah.
I need to get back to. I got into Yellowstone. I've been binging that. So
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna watch them only because of you guys. But like, are these celebrities? Are they like fans of Lego?
No.
What?
Their kids are,
Okay.
but them not so much. But with that, I mean, all 4 of the celebrities, they weren't just like, oh, you do it. I'm just gonna sit here and mess with Will. They were hands on, like every last one, from Cheryl to Leslie to what's my man's name, Robin Thicke, and Finesse Mitchell. They all of them were hands on. They all were involved in like the creation and actually laying bricks down.
So how is it like with your partner?
But my partner, he was easy, and I say that because he has a like an eye for aesthetics, right? He has, so I could tell him, hey, look, make me a bunch of fairies, and then I'm gonna show you how to make a flower real quick. Give me 100 of these, and he would just be, working away, and I'll go off and do something else. Now with Cheryl Hines, not so much, because Cheryl Hines is like the mother, with Dom was probably like her kid or her grandkid at this point. So she was kind of, so she's walking around the brick pit, and I don't want to spoil it for her, but she's walking around the brick pit, don't know left from right in the brick pit. Like she was like, I wish I knew what to get. Like I'm kind of lost in here. I don't know what to get. And so with me, I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that with Leslie. I'm gonna go shop for you. You stay right here. This is how you make this, and I, I kept control of the situation. Finesse too. Finesse was like, I wish I knew what to get. I'm kind of lost, and they were just wandering. Where I guess the veterans, like Boone shopped for Robin, and I shopped for Leslie, and so you keep control of that, and it's good time management.
So I guess I didn't really think about this before we started talking, but I know like we kind of had this new community of like Lego people now. And I wasn't going to bring this up before, but I think it's a good thing to kind of dive into before we get into something else. So in the past, we've had YouTubers, Instagrammers, now TikTokers, now the whatnotters too. But now we have the Lego Masters, who are their own thing, right? So like you have each season as it progresses, there's more added to your little knit group of people, right? Because I mean, although you're part of the overall Lego community, like you are in your own separate group now, right? You've all gone through this show, which has trials and tribulations on its own, with emotions and attachments and friendships. So obviously you're gonna have a bond, and then you have a shared bond with other people in other seasons because they go through similar things. It's just like anything else where like any part of our lives, when we play sports, we have jobs that are in similar interests and stuff like that, where we understand that you've gone through the same types of stuff that I went through, and now we have a bond together, even though you guys didn't really know each other. So like, how does that feel to have this new cast of people who now are amongst its own thing? Because you kind of talked about on your own show, which I don't know if you want to plug, you should, where you have your own clique. Right, we tell cliques, but you have your own cliques, but now you have this own thing. I kind of want to elaborate on the Lego Masters now, how you guys speak to each other, how you guys acknowledge each other. When a new season of cast comes in, like how do you bring them in the circle? Do you tell them what's up? How does all that? Because you went back to Boone, you saw Boone, but did you know everyone else intimately, like Boone, or like the other two that were on the show, like Dom and Natalie? Like did you probably interacted with Natalie before, right? Have you?
No, I never had. That was the first time I met Natalie. Yeah, it was the first time I met Natalie, and they had an alternate there too, just in case, like because COVID was still existent, and so if somebody test positive, they had a backup plan to keep rolling. And so, but yeah, you're right. Like the perception is that you're in this league, right? Whatever it is. I'm a rebel, man. I'm always going to be an A4. I'm for the people. And if you ever caught me at a show, if you saw me behind the table, it was probably for like 5 minutes. And then I'm back out there on the floor mixing up with my friends, Jesse and Troy, and just, and it's like, dude, and it was funny because even with like Chicago with Jermaine was like, oh yeah, they're calling all of us over there at the booth over there. We're going to all take a picture and we're going to be signing. We need to go over there. I don't need to go anywhere, friend. Like I'm out here meeting and greeting the people, as they come and go, and that's just me. I don't need to be in a specific area to meet, and meet and greet people. If I see you, I'm gonna talk to you. And but that is the perception that Lego Masters click with other Lego Masters and everything like that. My big mouth kind of burnt that bridge. Because
you got to be rebel.
Somebody got upset. I said something that was on the show, and somebody got upset because I told the truth, and I told what people see, but they don't say. And that's the difference. Is like people see things. Y'all see the same stuff I do, but I say it because I rather, like my mother always told me, I'd rather tell you up front than let it stick out in the end. Because if it stick out in the end, you the one that looks like the donkey, not me. So I tell you up front. And so they kind of got mad. They lashed out a little bit, kind of got mad. And then, some stuff was going to happen where they was just going to, they said they went on a campaign about some BS that it just made no sense at all. But that's the type of person I am, and I think that every time I go to a brick show and there's other Lego masters, they seem a little apprehensive to talk to me. they might, they seem a little apprehensive to talk to me, but and some do. But when I was back on set and it was Boone, man, like I think we were all, from me, Natalie, and Boone, and even Dominic, who we didn't know at the time, we were all excited to be back on the set. And for me, like I told you, when I kind of revealed to you earlier, and you're like, why'd you do it? Man, it was for redemption. Like, and I'm gonna spoil it for you because shame on you because you didn't see it.
My bad.
so I get that redemption back on this show, like in the second episode with the sleigh, which is a weight bearing project. It's a weight bearing project, and you can see my face when they announce, and it's funny because this is how dumb I am, right? We're standing there and Will's announcing, hey, look, you're going to build a sleigh and we're going to put it over here on the rooftop where the chimneys are. And you got 2 pillars. And I still didn't pick up on that. And they was like, yeah, and then we're going to take these stuffed animals that are weighted and put them in the sleigh. And that's when it hit me. And you can see my face like, oh, no. You can see my face was like, oh, no, like, no. And I collapsed. I was mentally checked out. And the producers came over to me, man. They was like, hey, you all right? Nah, because I didn't sign up for this. This is the bridge challenge. I don't have Jermaine, and I have an hour less. I got Leslie over here. God bless Leslie, but I'm sure he don't know how to put anything that's weight bearing together either. So at this point, it's all on me to figure out how we want to do this. And so the stress level is way up here. And I'm like, I thought y'all said the stress and all the competition stuff was over. This ain't. And, so after they calmed me down, I had to get to work, man. And at that point, I just wanted to be, I'm going to tell you, I just wanted to be in the top 2. If I'm in the top 2, everything's a success. If I put more than, 25 pounds on this thing, or 45 pounds, wherever we bounce out at, I'm fine. I feel better because I'm a step ahead, and end up actually winning the challenge. And so that right there was redemption, and I'm going to spoil it for some more for you because you're not going to ask, but I'm going to spoil it. In the final episode, in the second episode, I got my redemption. Dominic got his redemption because all he wanted to do was to beat Boone, and he did that on the first episode. And Boone's redemption was to win that Lego Masters crown, and he got that. So I think the theme of this challenge was like, it's a Christmas miracle and redemption's in the air, and so like, good things happen to good people, with reason. I think all four of us, you never exit a game show the way you want unless you win, right? And so along the line there, all four of us had something to prove that, we are much more than a bridge breaking at the lesser amount.
So were you happy how you were portrayed this time around?
Yeah, I am because to me, like when on season 1, I said, hey, look, I just want. They asked you, why are you competing on Lego Masters? And it's back on it. They recorded it and they kept it. And I said, hey, look, I just want to gain the respect of my AFOL peers, and as a respectable builder, I don't want to seem like I'm this facade and I'm just a poser. That's the word, poser. I'm from the 90s, poser. So I don't want to seem like I'm a poser in this thing that I love. And to me, after the end of that show, I'm like, man, I didn't prove jack. Like I didn't feel like a hero. I didn't feel like a hero. And it was like and I want to say like the atmosphere was totally different this time around. Like where that first season they were treating the show like it was a Bachelor, and the producers were like hounding you for drama. They were hounding you, so you couldn't even really focus on the challenge or the build because they're hounding you, constantly hounding you, and taking you off your game. Where here, it wasn't amped up like that at all, and the producers were different, and it wasn't amped up like that at all. They weren't hounding you for content. Like they were letting the builders build. They were letting the celebrities do the fun celebrity things, and they build. It was great when the celebrities were offset and we continued to build. That was great.
So, I mean, I feel like you're one of the few that have continued to kind of push Lego Masters outside. Like you're on this show, you did that whole baking thing. So you definitely represent for the Lego community amongst like a lot of people. And a lot of people always bring up Lego Masters, like who are not fans of Lego. Like when I talk to other people, they bring up Lego Masters. So obviously you're the face outside the community, but you don't have, like, you were never a poser. So like when you're on the show, all of us rooted for you because we knew who you are, right?
Right.
Yeah, your people on YouTube who knew who you were, and your people that you build in a community that knew who you were. So ultimately, in the end of the day, like you had nothing to prove because you know what I mean. You already built, and you know when you were talking to Corey about it, about like the whole click thing, which was also another thing that was interesting, was that you know he didn't really know that all of this existed. You know what I mean? That there's a lot of Lego fans that doesn't know this exists.
That's true. Also, you were online as an AFOL before the show. That's another thing.
You know, like I have to remind myself about that sometimes because even at the, you know, on January 1st, there was a huge line of people. Yeah. None of them are involved in any part of any community with Lego. They just buy the thing. They might once in a while watch a M&R video, but for the most part, they're not into YouTube. You know, maybe they look around on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, but for the most part, they're not involved.
They don't know about shows and stuff like that.
But what they resort to is, you know, they'll watch Lego Masters. And, you know, Brent mentioned that, you know, when he was on a couple episodes ago, like, you know, Lego Masters, your season was a good reason to why he came back. So, you know, I would not sell yourself short, I know, but like, I think season 1 out of the 3 so far is still my favorite. So keep that in mind.
Also like the first one, and it had like the most hype around it, I think. You know what I mean? It was like the most different thing, and then like a lot of people, I don't know, I definitely think there's like something there.
We were also in the community too, so it was like a big thing for us. Like, what? There's gonna be
anyone that comes on that represents community straight up before is a big win for all of us. Like we have someone to root for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that was my thing. What I said before, and it was like, and Ninja hit it on the nail on the head, was that, you know, you're in the community before the lights and camera action, you know, before that show even happened. Because I'm gonna tell you, like, Shad, people that ain't never Lego before, all of a sudden they Legoing just to get on Lego Masters. And you know what, that person may reach out to me again, because what they told me is what I say, you know, holds a lot of weight, and they're right. What I say does hold a lot of weight, because I have the respect of, you know, you guys who are in the community, because I'm from where you from, and so, like, you know, I'm never gonna say something that's, you know, tell you something. Oh, if this feels great, and I'm lying to you in your face, and I know that and I know that it wasn't that great. You know, that's just me. I would never sell something like that, and I wouldn't want representation like that at all. Like if you knew that you just wasn't a Lego person before, and then you had to go buy Lego and coach yourself up to be on this show, you know, that right there should hit you right in the heart, because now you're trying to be something that you're not. And if I have a little like 7-year-old girl that I see every day at my club, or a 7-year-old boy that I see every day at my club, and Lego isn't in their heart, I'm finding something else that they love. I'm not going to push it on them, or I don't want them to be something that they're truly not, just to make it.
I mean, it's more respectable to be like, I've never played with this stuff before, never built, but I'm here, you know?
Right. And that was just me too. Like with me, I want to tell you, when I got on Lego Masters, I probably was Lego and probably probably 2 years, going on 3, because it was a hobby me and my grandson had picked up. But I was in it before the show even decided to come over here, or I even knew what the show was in the UK or Australia.
So now Lego Master Season 4 is like in casting mode again.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone that's probably listening to this has already been hit up by somebody for the millionth time. I've left my emails unread. But do you want to push anything to anybody? Like, I know you said it last time, but any advice this time around to anyone who may be listening to this, who has been or being hounded by these casting agents?
So here's what you gotta let go, right? And I know what I said, but like totally banning the show will allow Emerald All Shine to find a replacement that's like you. Like they went to Canada to go get those teams, to go find that Midwesterner who happened to be a Northerner up in Canada to find that likeness on the show. They found some people who, I'll leave that alone, but they found some people who thought that they were of a certain category, and they really didn't play up to that part. So I would say that, definitely if your heart is pure, and here's the thing, your heart is pure in Lego, like you're an avid AFOL, and nothing can change that. Apply to the show, but apply to the show knowing that, hey, look, when I look around, this is a facade. So the byproduct is me building something that's awesome. That's the byproduct. But the folks that are waving the cameras and the microphones and all that stuff, they're there for a business. They're there to make a TV show. So their agenda might not line up with your agenda. Don't get your feelings hurt. Just know that, hey, look, this is a game show. But when I go back home, I got my Lego, I got my AFOL friends, I got my lug. That's real. I got, when I get ready to go back, I'm gonna be bugging out at the con with my friends. As a Lego Master contestant, that's real. Now, if you happen to have sharp skills and that you ain't taking no prisoners, like Brick and Nick, like Tyler, like Mark and Steven, go for it. Go for the gusto. Go get that cup, because that means everything. Mark and Steven went and got the cup. They took their money and now they own a business down in Atlanta that they used to work for. They partial owners, So if you after that $100,000, go get it. But if you know that you can't stand the pressures of that, because with Mark and Steven, that you could see it. It took a lot of pressure. It was the pressure of winning takes a hold of you. Even like if you watched season 3 with Nick and Stacy. That game that the producers play, and they're there to do a job. That's what you got to understand. They're there to do a job. They're there to sell great TV, because in the end, they want that hardware. They want that hardware. They want to win, And like I said, the building's a byproduct. So what you have to do is put that in perspective and give the producers what they want, but know that, okay, this isn't real life. Being a Lego Master, I'm not going to, after the show's over. And here's the thing is that, oh man, I was on Lego Masters. Well, now I'm going to go be on the Bachelor show. Well, I'm going to go do Amazing Race. I'm going to just make a career doing reality shows. That's not reality. That's not. So what keeps a roof over your head, that's reality. If you can come to terms with that, then I think you'll be all right. And a lot of people, let me tell you, a lot of people in our community have been turned away because they realize they think that reality TV is for real. Like that's life, and it's not.
Reality TV is the most unreal thing.
It is. It is. They want the drama, man. Like, you don't believe me? Look at The Bachelorette or The Bachelor show. That stuff would never happen in real life. Oh. Never happen. And if it did, they'd be on the 6:00 news murdered for messing around with a whole bunch of women. Like, you got one dude, with 25 women. One of them gonna get him. one of them gonna get him. Or you gonna have, like if it was the other way around on The Bachelor, you got two dudes on the sand fighting each other over the woman. But if that was reality, it's an MMA fight. You know, they at the bar fighting and tearing each other up, and they both go get arrested. That's not real, man. It's not real.
No. Drama sells. It's a given. I'm just happy that like drama doesn't stick around in the Lego community, at least on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like right now, the biggest thing on like YouTube right now is CoffeeZilla versus Logan Paul. But like that's like, you know, that's helping both of them, even though litigation is probably going to happen. But you know, luckily nothing within the Lego community is like sticks. You know, like that. Like when there's drama, like everyone just kind of just goes their own way. Like there's no like crazy videos. I mean, there used to be, but like not lately. You know what I mean? Especially with like, you know, with all this influx of people that come in. You know, like if there is a drama person out there, like just if you don't want to listen to it, you just don't. Like you don't affiliate with them or whatever. Like you just keep your distance. There's
That
no
is
like
the beauty of social media.
Yeah. But no, but like in other communities, there's always like if there's beef, like there's loud beef, like it's loud. You know, it's here. It's subtle and it's quiet. I mean, I have my own beefs, but you know, it's not like I'm ranting all over the place about it and that type of stuff. So
you ain't gonna roll up on somebody at a show, like, you know, that's just not realistic, man. Like you get put in cuffs for that mess. Man.
No.
You know,
I'll get arrested by you.
I'll
be like, oh no, I'm my bad. Hey, go ahead.
It's funny that you mentioned that, right? So like you got comedians on the set of this holiday show, right? Like you got you know, Finesse Mitchell, and there's the funny Robin Thicke, right? That's the best way I can say. He was funny. He was in rare form Robin Thicke, right? And Robin Thicke is going off on a rant, just saying just inappropriate stuff, right?
Really?
And so, and so you had Finesse Mitchell in there talking about, I'm like, dude, what y'all do last night? Oh man, he like, yeah, man, you know, we went to a party, we had fun, we did this and that. But he did something else. I don't know what he on. And he was going on, and it was so bad that Will was trying to start the show and he couldn't because Robin kept interrupting. And he was like, hey Mel. He was like, you know, what the fuck? Aren't you the police? Make these guys stop. So I was like, so Finesse looked over at me. He's like, yo, you the cops? I said, yo, look, I said, never mind that, man. Never mind that. No. Everything I told you I did, I didn't do. Like,
well, trying to lead this into the next one, but representing, because that was definitely what that was. So right now you are in LAN.
Yeah.
You made that perfectly clear in December, I believe, right?
Yeah.
I think that's when you announced it. And the first thing I remember like DMing you was represent.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Like, what does this whole thing in LAN mean? Because we all the moments we've talked about it, it's always been in mostly a negative light. I mean, there have been some instances because we have had LAN members on here and we had former LAN members on here, and obviously they're going to defend their own sides. So, but you know, coming in, you know, with the size of the channel in comparison to the others and who you are, like your notoriety within the community, like, and then what you have to like provide not only to Lego but to us, like what is all that to you with going into LAN? Because I didn't think that was ever going to happen.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know you were going to try to do it, so that was like.
And me, look, I was up to bat, and I saw the application, right? And I found the application. I filled it out long ago, right? And this was after anybody knew anything about the holiday show, and so this was like maybe midsummer. And I just took a swing with my eyes closed. And the next thing you know, in December, you know, Jordan is calling me, Jordan Paxson calling me, and wanted to have a sit down, Zoom call. And and I'm thinking it's an interview. Nah, they telling me I'm in. And I'm like, yo, like what? Like for real? like what were And so all these things are playing in my head. I'm like, man, like I'm thinking they were gonna like shoot me down or whatever. I'm like, nah, I didn't, it just came out of left. And I'm like, man, like this is awesome. And what he said to me, right? And I get it. And here's the thing, is like some people are gonna like this, some people not, right? And I get it. Like those that had a bad experience with the LAN and what the LAN is going in their new direction, I get it. But with anything, you have to adapt and survive, right? So Lego's adapting and surviving. And basically at this point in the juncture is that there's people. I'd be remiss if I tell you that the world's perfect and we all the same color and everything's just great, but we're not. And so we all come from different walks of life. And so I think Lego, it has seen that. And I think that talk with me and Corey about the Black Panther bus kind of struck some nerves over in Bill. And from what I heard, that they saw that video.
Can you elaborate on that? I was going to bring that up, but can you elaborate that so we don't have to go back?
Me and Corey from season 1 had a barbershop talk about the Black Panther bus when it came out right before the Wakanda movie. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, it looks awesome. It looks great. But as a Black parent, especially right before Christmas, like the month before Christmas, I'm not paying that amount of money for that because I can't afford that. I can't afford $600 on one thing for my kids. And that looks great because I can tell you, my little boy would want that set because he see him as Black Panther. He see himself as Black Panther. So I'm gonna tell this little boy, nah, man, it's like $600 out of my budget. The Mercedes that I drive or the hoopty that I drive, that's my car payment. So like at this point, I'm gonna skip a month out of my car payment to buy this Lego. It's out of reach for the Black family. And so that was basically the conversation that me and Corey had. So at this point is if it's not for the Black community and you have this Black superhero, and this is probably the one that all the Black community flock to, and this is our Superman. In other words, this guy is our Superman. We don't care about any other unless we're Marvel, right? Unless you're a Marvel fan. I'm a Marvel fan, so I care about other ones. But as a Black community, this is our Superman, and I can't touch him because I can't afford him. And so that's a psyche. So at that point, who is this set really for? And I can tell you, as a Marvel fan, I talked to a couple Marvel fans. They'd rather have a Wolverine bus at that size. So if it ain't doing good on this end, it ain't gonna do good on that end. That set is on a doom, and it's not gonna come off that shelf. It's not gonna sell out like the Jazz Club. So who's the set really for? And so we were saying, like, look, Lego, do your homework. You got to do a little bit better. Know if it's if it's a Black Panther, but that was like one part of it. But the second part was that their land community that they gave it to the media, the media representatives that are in the land, they were all white. So at this point, like I got 45 kids. Because now I run a Boys and Girls Club, but I got 45 kids and they're all Black. They are all over TikTok. They YouTube the whole bit. None of them are watching anybody who got that set for free. Mm-hmm. They're just not. And so at that point, it's like, if I was one of those kids, I would want somebody that looked like me to tell me, hey, look, this set is good or this set is not so good. Or you should go buy this set. You should consider about buying the set or you shouldn't buy the set at all. And so that's how the conversation went down, and it got to billing, and so they're trying to, like you do, you pivot and you try to undo some of the stinking thinking of the past by opening things up to the broad, the greater horizon, right? And you do that by actually having somebody like me into the land. Somebody like Claire into the land, somebody like you in the land, somebody that, so at this point, and I even said to Corey, I said, look, if I was a chief of police and, 25% of the town that I patrol is Black, another 16% of that was Hispanic, and another, percentage was Asian. I'm going to get me an Asian, I'm going to get me a Black, and I'm going to get me a Hispanic cop, that are qualified so that they can relate to the community that I serve and want to join. So how do I take ownership in Lego? When I walk into Lego, I want somebody that look like me, that speak the same lingo as me. So, because I don't want to go in there speaking hieroglyphics and the store manager or the store associate don't know what I want or what I'm asking for. They can't help me. So then that $600 set stays on the shelf because you didn't sell me. You know, as a salesperson, you want to be able to sell. You want to be able to relate to your customers so you can make that sale. And the only way you do that is to stock your associates that look like the community that you serve. And I think that was the conversation. So I think you're going to run into what's the old guard versus the new guard. The old guard doesn't want to give up, so they'll say a lot of bad things about the land and Lego and the direction that they're going. And at the same time, you'll hear a lot of good things about the new guard because we're brand new to this thing and we're learning the ropes and trying to spread the wealth to our communities.
See, it's not that it was a bad system; it just needed to be fixed.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yep.
I did that.
So what are you going to do differently?
What am I going to do differently? Friend, I honestly, to be real with you, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm trying to learn everything I need to know about being an ambassador. And at the same time, you know, I want to know how, like the sets or the gifts that they give me, how can I take that and give it to those 45 kids at the center, or so they could take it into that neighborhood that is like they make less than 20 grand a year.
Mm-hmm.
And you know your rent is like $25 a month, you know, that low income. How can I spread this wealth to the low income so that they can have great Christmas with Lego and stuff like that? I'm writing down plans. I'm writing down, you know, I'm still gonna be me, and I'm still gonna talk the way I'm talking. I'll be honest with you. I just don't do reviews. I don't, but I will do them to satisfy that check mark with land because that's what's required. But at the same time, I need to do that and put my spin on it and make it me. And because the moment that I don't is the moment that you tune out, and I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't have to review them. You have to use them somewhere.
Just make content is what we've been told. Yeah. I have a question. When you had that conversation with Lego, did they ever address like who the set is for? Like who was their target demographic? Did they ever acknowledge that? I can't imagine that they would because
he never said that. He never said who it was for or who they were seeking out to. It just made them look like, okay, well, damn. Like, well, you know, and I think even the poor designer was like at this point, you know, you made it so far. And don't get me wrong, the set is beautiful.
I got it.
I can go and pay $600 because if I want that set. But what about the kid or the black family that can't afford that set? And it was like, you know, at that point, you know, it's you know, that's the thinking that the designers need at this point. If it's heavy, and here's the thing, Claire, is that every set isn't like that at all. You know,
right? There's like a whole range of like prices and like and there's like I know there was like a couple of the really small ones which I've seen like kind of pop off the shelves and stuff like that. I've seen like kids grab them regularly. Yeah. And like, you know, you could say that like, well, no single UCS set is for any kid or whatever. You could say that, which is like a different conversation about Lego and toys and like, who is it really for? Separate conversation.
Right.
But like, I don't know, that set was like, I haven't seen the designer video on it, but it seems like it's like some kind of like idol. You know what I mean? It's like, it's built like almost like you would put it on a shrine. Yeah. And so like, I guess who idolizes right, this superhero, pretty specific community. And so, okay, so that means it's like targeted towards the adults of that community or the wealthy of that community. And like, I think over the course of,
it's kind of telling,
you know, the last few years, you know, a lot has like come to light and people have been like a lot more educated and aware. In theory, let's like make this assumption, right, that like who can afford what and what they can't afford in theory. Right. And so like why, I don't know. It just seems, it seems like it fell on deaf ears a little bit. And then it also, you know, as like a company who's like, oh, well, you know, we want to be like inclusive of everybody, but like, we don't want to like maybe do the work to do that. But, and then they overcompensate with like a lot of other things, you know? So it's like, it just seems like when you try to be perfect, you make like little, like, it's easier to like pick it and nod it. Do you know what I mean? Also, I think it's also bad timing with this kind of set with the price increases as we're getting into a recession. So it feels incredibly insensitive.
Right.
And it's like you can't act like you're a service company when you're a profit-based company. And so it's like you can't, and even though you have a service side to your company, it's like and then like you can't also behave. I think my issues personally with like land, talking to different people that are in it, is more like there's one aspect of it that's being said as though it's also a service, you know, like land as a service to the community. And then in the same vein and in the same way that they reject people, they're like, no, this is a marketing service and it's a consumer based thing. So like if you don't have the audience, you can't get in, or if you don't have whatever. So it's really two things. There's like two mouths coming from the same head. Yeah. And it doesn't sit right. So it's like you can't pretend like you're faultless and then also be like capitalist driven, which it's and there's nothing wrong with either thing. It's just trying to have both masks and both hats at the same time that seems disingenuous. And I think it's that disingenuous like added like perception of like quite literally like the whitest country in the world that very recently like euthanized people for like not being, you know, looking exactly the way they do. And then like never addressing that and having just like a deep disassociation with that. And so it just seems like you can't pretend like you're God and untouchable, but then also be like, no, we're a marketing company that needs to make money. Like, it's like, I think it's that the cognitive dissonance between the two, I think is what's the issue, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the ebb and flow of the old guard versus the new guard, right? So like, and we'll see, me and you will see that in our lifetime, right? There won't be any imminent change that we will see. It's changing as we move on, but our kids and the people under us will be able to live in a world where that we dream, right? And I say that because look, you have our AFOLs are taking jobs over there, so it's changing. It's going to take a while, but it's changing, right? And I even had a conversation with Corey about it, and I say, look, do I want Lego to change their product to appease me and the Black community? Hell no. I want you to put out the same stuff that you've been putting, because that's the stuff I'm buying off the shelf, right? But what I do want is I just want a seat at the table. Like, have somebody, if that Black Panther bus is rolling out, have a panel. Have a Hispanic, have a Black, have an Asian, have all the minorities in the world, right? Sit down at that panel, put the price down on that set, and give that set to them and ask them what they think. And I could guarantee you that every last one of them will tell you that the set was overpriced for, and want to know, well, who's this set really for? Because the Marvel fans aren't going to buy that set. The Black community aren't going to buy that set. So who's that set for? And that's what I was telling him. I was telling Corey, like, look, start hiring, you know, people for like, you know, for in your community base, like, you know, as far as, you know, trying to do your outreach to your community, hire brown people, hire Asian women, hire all the people together. See, you shouldn't have a certain color, because then that just gives you one perspective. But if, you know, you have like a panel of people who are represented all over the world, then you kind of open up your palette to have different views, and it's okay to have different views. And they know that. And I think that like, that's what it is now. It's, you get like you said, you get a lot of that contradicting, you know, one person says one thing and the other person says another thing, but they still work for the same company. And so that's the ebb and flow of the old versus new guard. And eventually, like I said, we won't see it, but the people behind us or under us will eventually see, you know, the fruits of that labor.
I hope so. I just think it could also just be bad management and direction, and like the company's like trying to find its foothold. You know what I mean? You never know. Like, these are difficult. I mean, it's like everyone's like afraid of getting canceled. Everyone's afraid of like not being present. Everyone's also bracing for recession. So it's like a lot of stuff is happening at the same time. And I think companies are struggling really hard. You know, people, you know, mega companies like, you know, are laying off things, and you can't exist within the Lego world and not be cognizant of like, you know, just the market and supply chain issues and stuff like that. It would be ignorant and naive to be independent of that. And so I want to hope that like this is like the new change or whatever, but also, you know, I'd like this company to survive and not cancel themselves out.
Oh yeah, yeah. And this is why they're doing the things. So I'm gonna tell you, like, I don't have 1 million viewers. I don't have 5,000 subscribers. I'm probably barely getting ready to scratch 2,000 subscribers, right, on YouTube. Now I probably got about 8,000 subscribers on Instagram. So my social media presence isn't like I post up, people like it, stuff like that. So I'm getting out there, but my subscriber issue, like my subscriber count, isn't like high rate where long ago you had to meet that certain threshold, right? But I mean, like if you got diversity and you're speaking with diversity, I think they're going to listen to you. And I think that is the first step in the change that's to come. Like I said, like I don't want to promise people, oh, change is coming, it's going to totally change. I'll be lying to you like that. You know, it's one of those.
I think if I don't want to interrupt you, but like I think it's the diversity that they're looking for at that time, because there are other demographics that like aren't represented.
Right.
But they're not trendy. They're not interesting. They're not, like there's an ageism thing that's also like there's a lot of people. It's, you and I have talked about that independently as well. Shy, when you applied to land, do you mind me talking about it a little bit?
We talked about it already. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like Shy took on the perspective of diversity, but like diversity of, being mixed race and then also
the military,
being a veteran. Yeah. And so there's like a combination of stuff, but that just like wasn't what that was looking at the same time, and like I came from it as like a professional who, was like who had success, and like a lot of my profession is something that Lego, in theory supports and hires as like an architect. And so, but I'm not pretending I'm a minority in any way, shape, or form here. I mean, I am just simply by being a female, but like, and by being Jewish, but that's like, I didn't put that in my application. I wasn't like, but the thing is like, look, there has to be like baby steps to it. And like, I think what would be really unfortunate, Mel, is like, you have been given theoretically these like free sets. Like use it to like grow your channel. Like, why not? Like take advantage of those like, views. Like that's like the thing that sucks is like you see people that like get into land and then they don't do anything with it. And you're like, well, that was like a bummer. Like why'd they do that? That sucks. Like, like land says that they want to support.
I'm gonna just interrupt and just bring up CC. Because I've been holding my tongue on that for.
I saw CC, and it was like, I don't want to be another CC, and that's why I'm like, all right, I got time. I said, so what I got, I need to strategize. All right, how am I roll this out? Because I just want to be in front of the camera, just building a sentence. So, this is the new fire command truck, and blah 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 blah. You've seen that on 100 other channels. I'm gonna do something different. Like I want to do something different. And still get the credit for that. But at the same time, like you said, I'm not going to sit back. I'm getting free sets and do nothing, because then that's how you lose it. So that's
it's not that's how you lose it. It's like you're an interesting person. You're fun to be around. I look forward to seeing you every single time. Like we have a convention together. When I saw that you got into land, it was like good. He's a good guy. He's a decent guy. He's like a good role model for kids. Like great. Like, like what else do you want? And so it would be not to like be that person who's like, but like it would be unfortunate, if like this, and I can't imagine with your day-to-day life and like the things that you do and like, these kids that you're part of their lives, like you're gonna let it go to waste. Like there's no way. But I mean, man, get on TikTok, like do whatever you gotta do. Like
I will. And it's like, but and I'm gonna tell you, like being in the land, it's like an encyclopedia just unfolding. It's like infinite like information that's just thrown in that, and I'm just trying to catch up. I'm like, man, like it's a lot. It's gonna be a busy year. It is. It's gonna be a busy year. It's gonna be a good year. 23 is gonna be a good year.
Right.
So I guess let's see. I'm gonna try not to get emotional here. So when we had CC on here last time, we had like a big conversation after the show, and I got pretty like emotional, because I looked at CC, even though she's younger than me, she's not experienced in the community as I was, but I looked to her to represent us,
Mhm.
right? Because I am half black. So I was proud of her, you know, like in the same realm how I felt when I was in Afghanistan and I'm walking around. Obviously, I don't look black; I look Filipino. So we have Filipino workers there putting up, you know, setting up the bases and stuff in the main base, Leatherneck. So they stopped me and they're asking me, "You Filipino?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then they're just like, just proud, you know, because of the struggles that we went through, like, you know,
Yeah.
back at home and all that kind of stuff. And to
Yeah.
see someone like at the level of where they can achieve, but like is making it, it means so much. And to me, Cece was that. Like, I know she wasn't big. I know she didn't like, she kind of faltered out on, and she had her own issues with, you know, trying to like, you know, be something that she was and was not. But when I saw you got accepted, and the first thing I told you was represent, because
Yeah.
I truly mean that. So I'm proud that you're up there. And when I didn't know how to bring this up, but when the Black Panther set came out, everyone was talking trash. Every
Yeah.
single person was talking trash. And
Yeah.
I was truly upset. And everyone who had the set that got it for free was talking trash.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
it wasn't even like, yes, we know it's expensive, but they clearly like did not know who, like how much the Panther means to a lot of us.
Yeah.
And when I bought the set, because I finally bought it at Times5 VIP with GWPs, because I found it to be worth it at that point. The only people that I saw with that set in line, because it sold out in both
Mhm.
stores that I was at, were black.
Yeah.
No one else was black
Amazing.
buying that set. So, you know, even though like I don't like push it out that, you know, that I am black out there, but like when I was watching, shit. When I was watching everybody talk shit, like it hit like hard.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it hit hard. Like my people struggled. Like
Mhm.
my ancestors struggled. That's the reason why I don't want to move to states like Alabama and North Carolina, because that's where my people were freaking slaves. That's
Yeah.
where that's where I found our lineage at. And like, you know, my grandparents struggled. Like when they came here, like in the South, like my dad struggled, you know, getting spat on, like coming on this, you know, wearing the uniform and still getting spat on and still being
Right.
pushed around. You know what I mean? So when you see like the Panther, like Black Panther, like you see him and he represents so much, you know, that like, and then just to get trashed, like
Yeah.
hard, like,
Yeah.
you know, I know a lot of people who had that set didn't understand, and I get it, like, but to completely ignore anyone that's out there that could have like at least talk up and like defend it like you and Corey did. I know, even though you guys were really harping on like, you know, like it was really expensive, but you guys finally said it, like who this set was for, and you weren't
Yeah.
scared of saying it might be that too. Maybe people did know who it was for, just didn't have the balls to say it out loud because they're afraid of what might happen. But
I was going to say that. I was
Yeah.
like, there's
Yeah.
there's definitely some smart people in LAN, and but then like, I don't think it's, you know, I think the only thing that they could have done that would have been the right thing is to bring somebody else on to do the review with them,
Mhm.
or to do it for them. That's like the only thing that I think would have been appropriate.
it would
Or
have been
to-
CC.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously,
It would
but
have
I mean,
been
like,
her.
like it
But see,
just,
they need that, and that's why like you are like that community. So represent, bro. Like it doesn't matter what you do, just hang on to it and just make sure you do what you can to grow, to make sure that other kids out there, like all your kids who watch you, look at you, like be that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
know what I mean?
And that's
no,
what I'm aiming
no pressure,
for.
no pressure.
No pressure.
I
Yeah.
did the same thing to CC,
That's
but this
what
is
I'm
my
aiming
thing.
for, man.
I did the same
You
thing
know?
to her, and you know, like I said, like represent, man. Like I know you can, I know you will. You're confident. You don't take from nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, you know, just don't do anything that'll get you kicked out.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do that. So I'm trying. I'm like, hey, can I have a kid in the stream with me? Like, can I? Is that ain't nobody answer? I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, man, that set. When that set rolled out. And here's the thing, right? You know, America's history is messed up. Every country history is messed up. So I get that. But here you got they're telling the story, like the movie. They're telling the story about a black family, right? And every black son struggles with their black father. They do. Every family, everyone. And so here you have a father that has secrets and went to the grave with his secrets, and his son is trying to clean the mess up. You know, I felt that right here because I can relate to that story 100%. So then when that set came out, it was everything because I'm thinking about that same story that I went to the movie and saw, and to see that people not appreciating the set, you know, it did hurt. It was like, man, like, you know, this set is so much more. And that's what I said. If Chadwick Boseman was alive today, this is what he would do. Because he would be proud that that set was on the shelf, and he would go on that shelf, buy everything off of it, and give it to his community. And I'm still going to do that. I am going to get my hands on a set, one of those, and take it down there to that Boys and Girls Club. Let them build it and keep it in their club.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't understand why they made it so big when they already had a line of like the $80 helmets or something they had, right?
Yeah.
They could have made it that size.
Yeah.
Or made two, like a small.
Honestly,
I don't understand.
If you look at Ninja, if you look at now, I want to shameless plug somebody, but they're in the community. It's Tips and Bricks. They actually did an article on that set. They revisited the set, and they attached it along with the interview with Corey. And then what they did was this AFOL named Glenn, actually made the whole bus thing a lot smaller and more achievable in the pocket. And it looks awesome. It does. It looks awesome. So if you look at Tips and Bricks, look at that. It looks awesome. And so it's an option for them to make it, you know, smaller, and more achievable than that. But like Claire said, that's a set that you would put on a mantle somewhere. You know, nobody's playing with that. You know, you might take the necklace off and put it around your neck and cower a little bit, but that's about it. You know, and that's why I said if I get my hands on that set, it won't go in here. There's no place for it. I give it to the club so the kids, you know, it's a good feel piece.
Sure. All right, man. So represent, bro.
You bet.
23. Thank you.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Thank y'all, man. Y'all keep.
We'll see you in Chicago. We're gonna see you soon.
Yeah, man. I'll be there, bro. I'll be there.
Are you gonna go to any other conventions?
I'm doing that. I think we're doing Slopes because we're doing a collab. I'm doing a collab with Jesse, Larry, and Troy. And then I might do the Virginia Cascade still on the table a little bit. Might, but it might not because they moved it to May. So
they did?
You know,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an out. All right. Well, is there anything you want to plug?
Oh man. You got I got you know, my Facebook, you know, Iceberg Bricks Builds, and my Instagram is iceberg_bricks. You can always catch me on YouTube chanting, ranting around a little bit. Now, I got some good topics coming up, so I'm gonna cook them and book them.
What about the thing with you and Corey?
Oh yeah, man. We got part in the Brick Ruption, right?
I was waiting.
So I'm actually editing
time.
new videos. I'm editing those new videos now. He like, man, what's up, dude? It's taking a long time to edit, and we're trying to cut it down to 30 minutes. But Corey talks so long, man. Like, you know, he'd be killing me.
Shy is feeling the pain too. He's like,
Yeah,
know exactly what you're talking about.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's roll that music. Everyone have a good night. Peace. Thank you. No, I got emotional there. Sorry, I was a little.
Oh man, I get it, man. Like, you know, something like that is a prize for